Yo, yo. Should be good to go. Ryman? Ryman already? How's it going? How's it going? Wait for a few people to cycle in and then we will get going. What's up, Sam? How's it going? Alrighty, so let's do a little trade review here from today. I've already ran through scans this evening, so I've got a few names on Watch Greener tomorrow, and let's see, I've got a bunch of names like on a list. Probably got maybe 20, 25 names over here. Um, and they're not like, I've got them all on watch. They're just big percent gainers trading volume. Um, but there's not really any daily chart setups on a ton of them. So it's not like a busy day, but one or two trades per day does the trick. So we will see. Trades from today, I had Indo and OP. Two trades, two tickers. Indo here. I had put it on Twitter yesterday about the multi-day runners on Indo and Husa with the Middle Eastern war escalating and stuff over the weekend. We had USEG, INDO, HUSA. We had OP. We had, what was that other one? What was it? Let me look it up. RBNE. RBNE was another one, but a bunch of energy names that typically spike with the Middle East news. When we had the war breaking out back in 2022, you had Indo, IMPP, HUSA, a bunch of them, and a few of the similar names have come. Now, if you look at OP right here, one day and then a big gap up, 70% plus. I get interested in those overextended gap and craps. Then we had Husa that had run here from $3 or $4 up to 20 over 1, 2, 3 days. Had done a reverse split, so share count was a bit low, so I didn't expect to be super clean. But the daily run that it had to get there was worth a watch. And then Indo trades a bit thicker, and this one also had a multi-day run here from like 3 to 6. Now, if you look at like USEG with the gap and fail, not the cleanest daily, and RBNE NE. This one here is a multi-day run, had an offering in pre-market, or not a multi-day run, a day one run, gave back most of its gains by close on that day, and then had an offering this morning. So that's what sets apart like a few of the daily charts and why I narrow it down to a couple. Now HUSA and Indo, they were gapping down this morning, and then right off the open, just straight fails into a halt, straight fails, and did most of its range there in the first couple minutes off the open. What Indo did is it had a push, set higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. First time it fails this trend. Let's get short, risk versus the highs. I hit my my hotkey on. I hit my hotkey right there to set a dollar risk versus the highs a day, and covered. Was a bit early here, but it was straight down, like a 15% move straight down. So I felt like it could bounce, and then once we got flushes lower, I covered, and flipped long on this one here. We had sped up with volume starting to pick up, risk versus lows, scaled here through this 407 as it was chipping through the wall. We got an immediate pop. I didn't get a great fill, and it just wasn't continuing higher. Each time the bid would step up, start to stack. Just wouldn't push any higher, so I moved on that long idea. Later in the day here, it was a slower kind of grindy bounce, so it eventually did bounce, but just not on the timetable that I was looking for there. But nice little predictable move on that first red day pullback, gap down. And then OP was the other trade. We had that multi-day run here from 70 cents up to 3+. Then we started to fail to follow through. This $3, $3.10 level was the failed follow through level I was looking at. We got a push off the open, stuff right into prior support, now become resistance, and the severity of the push, hard crack, lower highs that can't reclaim. We did get a stuff candle, but I was sized versus high a day full risk. I contemplated on ads here and moving risk down, but I didn't want to get stopped out prematurely on a bigger picture idea. So just let it do its thing. And we got a move from 3 down to 2 with really no reason to cover. A straight flush, started to hit halt levels, so I covered about half. And then once we got a swipe back, I covered the next higher low. It just wasn't starting to roll over. This one is still worth a watch into tomorrow with enough bag holders there overhead. So we will see if we get that gap down red move. Still hasn't gone red, and the 4 EMA is still sitting in the 160s, 170s range. So I think there is still room for a pullback, so we'll keep that one on watch as well. Run through a bunch of names on the list here. LVWR, fairly steady fade here the last 4 days, right into the prior breakout level. Could get a little bounce going. Probably worth a watch. Nothing I'd tried crazy size on. Starting to get a bit of liquid, but the steady fade, steady fade, steady fade. Something like this. Once it starts to firm up, could get a little bounce. Maybe back towards 6 or something, nothing crazy. But you're getting those wicks starting to come there. Each day it pushes lower. Worth a watch. See what else we got here. UAVS. Mentioned this one on Twitter this evening. Same setup we had right here. You get the pullback, retraces a majority of its move, but reclaims trend and breaks out. Retraces a majority of that move, reclaims trend, possible breakout setting up here. What would make it nicer is if it consolidated between like 140 and 160 for another day before breaking out, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So a break through those 160s I'd probably be forced to take and accept whatever happens there. And CNA not going away. Man, I'm just rhyming all over the place. Playing at 20 cents, I think I could justify paying commissions on that. Just when it's at like 5 cents to trade like millions of shares just doesn't make sense. But at 20 cents, I think you could justify it for the range it would trade from there. CoreWeave, this one's holding up very well. Much better than I would have expected. And especially with this double top here off the 166, that breakout's probably looking pretty good. Tighter the better. USCG, I don't need to watch that. Indo, a bunch of these things gapping up here in after hours now. Looks like there was some sort of news with them. Circle, I was looking for this one. It had a strong break through that 120 lower high and didn't really offer any other pullbacks after it broke. 120-ish. Pullbacks right there, and then just steady highs, gap up, steady highs. I was looking for it to consolidate between this 140 and 120, similar to what I'm looking for in UAVS, where we're just straight up. So I didn't want to chase it, but nice move nonetheless. OST, this one just looks like a pump and dump. I haven't gotten any messages on it. Yeah, I haven't got any pump messages on it, but just looking at the chart and how they're starting to wash volume and just churn shares back and forth, looks like they'll eventually just give it up one day and it'll end back at like 80 cents. But when that happens, I don't know. It just looks like a pump chart that I've seen before. OP touched on. I ran today, so that was pretty cool. All my friends were selling me short all morning. But a gap and crapper. And then a few percent gainers here. Few percent gainers here from the day. SRM had another treasury. Treasury news wasn't on Bitcoin. It was on Tron, whatever that is. I don't follow crypto, but it was the same treasury PR that's been running these names. Fairly clean setup right here. Gets tight. It gets tight and lines up right within range of the high a day. So nice little pocket pivot move there. Oops. So yeah, nice move, nice percent gainer. No real plan on it right now. We'll either want to see it run higher and look for a first red day down the road, or consolidate and get a T+1 or breakout or something like that. Maybe a setup like this. You get the big push, one day breakout maybe. Kids gapped up and failed the next day. SEP ran the next day, gapped up and ran, consolidated and rebroke out. So who knows what that's going to do. Timid, another energy name. Multi-day runner here from 70 cents up to 260. Again, got that little pop there late in after hours. But that daily chart does interest me. If it's red and stays red, possible for a pullback. For EMA is still in the 140s. Worth keeping that one on watch. Caramel, CRML, same kind of setup here. Multi-day runner, 140 up to 350. Really nice move. Started to get ahead of itself there late day. That little blowout premature into close. You don't really want to see it just straight up like that. You get sellers. So we will see. Ideally, it keeps going. One more day would put it into A-grade territory, but I don't know if we'll get it. So between Caramel and Timid, those are definitely watches. OP, definitely worth a watch. And UAVS. Probably my main four there. Stuff and such, no real trades for me today. Took a stab on AMPX breakout, but cut quick because of the resistance overhead. Small win, but not your main pattern. Yeah, this one just doesn't trade much range. I see kind of what you're going for. Straight up into this breakout level, not the greatest. You'd like to see it get tighter and have more consolidation. Yes, there is a bit of abnormal volume here trading near the lows, but the daily range that it trades each day is just not really worth it. Better to trade breakouts on names that are in play and have a lot of eyes, because that's what you need for it to go higher, as buyers. Man, that QBet is still going higher. QBTS failed. RGTI. Let's see here. QBTS. Wow, clearly relative strength. That's insane. Can't believe this thing is still moving. CoreWeave just, it looks like it wants it. Looks like it wants 200. You guys see RGC today? I don't have it on a watch list because I'm just not going to trade it. But they did a forward split. I think it was like a 30 for 1 or something like that. So it was trading at like $600 or something down here. And then did a split. And then continued to run even higher on a higher share count. Which is crazy. Like literally parabolic. It was short sell restricted. So couldn't even short the para, but not that I really wanted to. Curious what the news was. What time was this at? Right around 6:30. Oil spiking. Iran should have signed the deal I told them to sign. What a shame and waste of human life. Simply stated, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I said it over and over again. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. Was a Trump social or Truth Social post by Trump. So that's what got it moving. I asked Grok. Let's ask them again. I asked him over the weekend if the Middle East, let's see, have the tensions in the Middle East. I asked over the weekend if it got better or worse over the weekend. It said it got worse. We'll see what it says today. As of June 16th, tensions in the Middle East have significantly worsened, primarily due to escalating conflict between Israel and Iran over the past few days. Both nations have engaged in intense military exchanges, conversations on retaliatory missile strikes. Israel's Prime Minister more is on the way, and Iran promised a crushing response. No immediate resolution in sight. Broader regional impacts. Just not a. New York Times reports Trump is weighing whether to help Israel destroy the nuclear enrichment facility, which only American bunker busters can reach. I'm just not 100% sure if this was a justified move. Like the small cap movers will end back where they came from. It's just a matter of when, not if. Do I think we're in this kind of situation? Not really. Could it happen? Sure. But the last few times, that's been kind of like the flight to safety, has been those those moves. Oh, war's gonna break out. Let's in the Middle East, then let's buy energy and oil and gas names. And it's happened a few times. It always ends back near lows. We're popping right up into similar looking left levels. So the odds favor this pulling back. And with the run in after hours now gapping these things up right back into prior resistance, and it's just off of a Truth Social post. I don't really think it warrants a gap up like that. But OP, probably the nicest looking setup. You could consider TMDE to be similar there. But I will, similar to how I looked at Indo and Husa, I think OP and TMDE probably look the best for energy names into tomorrow. And if the basket starts to pull back, those would be my go-to names. So we will see. Carmel, nice runner. This one's a metals, Critical Metals Corporation. And then UAVS is a drone name, so it doesn't really have ties to it, but maybe it's getting some attention for drones in terms of war. Not sure. Not sure. freaked out when I saw Dawson running. Sam isn't doing so well. Oh, gosh. Yeah, you got some work to do. I know Dawson has run in the past. I'm still up 100%. I know Dawson's run in the past. I mentioned to a few friends today. What did I say? It was, I always knew Dawson was a weak SOB right at market open. Funny. But yeah, in terms of watches tomorrow, we'll definitely be looking at UAPS breakout, OP, TMDE, and CRML will be my main 4 small caps into tomorrow. And then we'll see how this CoreWeave starts to shape up towards that 166 breakout. Nice flag there. Hasn't sped up yet, so yeah. That's about all I got for this evening. Jeff coming in. How's it going? But I will wrap it up there. And I don't think I put the link. Yeah, I didn't put it in this description. I will add it, but Investors Underground is doing a 2-week trial, $49 for 14 days. Then you get full access to the website and chat room and stuff like that. So I will throw that down in the description as well. So if you refresh the page once this is over, you can check out that link if you are interested. But I will see some of you in the room tomorrow. The rest of you on the next watch list. So take it easy, guys. Trade them well. Stay safe. Catch you later. Peace.